This is just a short movie to show progress on developing an app. This app is running in the emulator. So this is the home screen. Obviously, because it's running in the emulator, we're just going to use the mouse. So select the first menu. This goes to a second menu, running cycles. This then goes and loads a YouTube video. So the emulation is actually live, and you may hear that we actually got a commentary, etc. Going on. The video is actually recorded in HD on YouTube, so we'll actually play at whatever resolution the device will actually cope with. Okay, so we can see that works. Go back, and again to a video, well, not a video, really a movie this time, created.
An understanding of Newton's third law is fundamental to an understanding of ground reaction forces.
And you can see the video actually carries on, with an explanation of a concept.
There is a force of equal magnitude but opposite in direction.
Okay, so if we go back into the app, back to the main menu, most of the menus lead to further YouTube-based videos, so I won't go through all of those, but they all seem to work. We still have yet to test the app actually on iPhones and iTouches, and apparently we can do that before we actually get into the situation of uploading the app, and that would be useful to actually work through the whole process. So I go back again. The other things that we've got in the app, say most of it is linked around these screencasts of explanations, etc. We do have a sort of a quiz. So the quiz is quite restrictive. The way it's set up at the moment, I think there are 10 questions. They're timed. You get a choice from 4. So in this case, you get a question: what is the net impulse when calculated with reference to ground reaction force? So what I need to look for is positive area combined with negative area, which is this one. And then I get a correct answer, automatically goes to the next question. This question actually is, again, is an image. So I've got to choose which of these equations. So in this case, I'm looking for equation 2. Okay, that works okay. And so on. Now the rest of the questions, or most of the questions, are actually text-based. So either text or image-based. And one thing we found is that if you go image-based, really you need to have the question embedded in the actual image itself. You can see the timer going on down the bottom there. So if we go through the questions that are actually there, initial peak should be passive. That's okay. I'm glad I'm getting these right. Newton's third laws implies forces always occur in pairs. So pity there's not a bit more variety in the actual questions, but that is the way that it works, and there's not a lot we can actually do about that yet. Here's another image-based question. I'm coming towards the end now. Looking for a definition here, which starts from foot strike to toe off. So I think it's that one. A couple of questions to go. Peak vertical force around mid stance should be active peak. And last question, which statement would be true for normal running? So we're looking for ground reaction force, which acts backwards and upwards. And there we go. So that gives the 10 questions. You then get a score. You can repeat it. It does randomly assign the questions, so you won't get the same questions in the same order. And I think probably you can use a pool device. You can have more questions and ask it to select from that. So that's okay. It will read in basic Word document. I mean, this looks quite small, but I'm assuming this will work with pinch and zoom. So there's a sort of a reading list, and then there's a bit of an experiment We actually created a website with 3 posters. So if we go into the first poster, again, obviously working with the mouse, but once you've got it in there, you can actually slide the image around. Again, I think pinch and zoom will work, and then you can pick obviously different posters to represent the different concepts that have been talked about. The questions in the quiz actually do draw on information from the posters as well as from the movies, so this would be a way of drawing the students in to actually read the posters. And that's really about it at the moment. So we've got the app, all the navigation seems to work, all the content is there. I found a couple of bugs in the content which probably will have to rework. Next stage would be to test these, or test the app, in the iTouches and possibly on an iPhone. This is before you actually load it up into the App Store. And then if that's looking okay, we could load it to the App Store. Obviously, this isn't necessarily the best app, but I think working through the process of creation has been useful. I think probably people who are savvy about IT could actually make one of these. The biggest disadvantage is that when you're building it, unless you're working on an Apple with the Xcode program, then you work blind, i.e. you can't actually see until you transfer your work into Xcode what it's actually going to look like. So that's a bit of a disadvantage. It might mean, for example, we could possibly consider a couple of workstations, Apple workstations, perhaps one in 344, possibly one down at Pond Street, if people think this is worth doing, where people could actually test the progress on the development of their app. So that's pretty much it for now. Obviously, we're at the point where getting this developer license, or whatever the right phrase is, will be useful. Just realised that I didn't actually deal with the last menu item, so sorry about that. Basically, this takes you to contact details, which is purely some text, but quite nicely the location option does actually conjure up a Google map and actually takes you straight to the actual map itself. So that was quite cool, I think. Okay, I think that is it this time, so that concludes this little demo.